Hi, in this video, we will see about how to connect the database with the Java program and store the values, whatever we give through the HTML forms. So let us get into the database connectivity code. So before getting into the connections for database, let me first explain why do we need a JDBC connectivity. So whenever we want a Java application to communicate with the database, then we need to connect the program with the database. For that, we need drivers. Like there are different types of drivers. So whichever driver is suitable for the project, we can choose it accordingly. So like whenever we want the Java application to communicate with the database, we go for JDBC. JDBC means Java Database Connectivity. So we have to open a connection, then communicate with the database, then execute the SQL statements, and finally we have to retrieve the results. So this is what the responsibility of JDBC. So as I told you, to make a connection, we can use JDBC drivers. There are different types of JDBC drivers. So whichever is apt for the project, we can choose the particular JDBC driver. So this JDBC driver helps to translate the queries received from the application and submit it into the database. So let us get into the JDBC implementation part. These are the 7 steps involved in creating a JDBC connectivity. First, we have to import the relevant packages needed for JDBC connection. Then we have to load and register the driver. Then we have to establish a connection to the database server. Then we have to create a statement. Then we have to execute the statement. Finally, we have to retrieve the result and then close the connection, both statement and the connection. So these are the 7 steps involved in the JDBC implementation. Look into the first code. First step is importing all the packages. So that is like using the import statement, we can import the whatever packages necessary. Say for example, Java .sql, like that we can import all the packages that is necessary. Then the second step is load and register the driver. So for loading and registering the driver, the function what we use is for name. So it is available in class. So we have to give class dot for name of, and the driver class name you have to give. Say for example, if you are using a ODBC driver, then you can give the class name like this sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc odbc driver. If you are going to use MySQL, in that case you can give com.mysql.jdbc driver. So according to the whatever driver you are using, the driver class name you have to specify in the for name. So like whenever you call this class dot for name, this will be automatically creating an instance for the driver and it registers it with the driver manager. So we don't want to create any instance of the class. It automatically creates the instance for the driver, particular driver. Then after registering the driver, we have to establish the connection. For establishing the connection, we have to use the function called get connection. You can look into the syntax here. So connection is the class and get connection is the method which will help you to establish the connection. So for the particular driver manager, I am just creating a connection. Okay. So this is the syntax. So this is one example. For MySQL, I have given driver manager dot get connection of MySQL, that path name, what is the root name and what is the password. Okay. So username, password, you are passing it as a parameter. Then after establishing the connection, we need to create a statement. So for creating the statement, the syntax is you have to create a class, create an object for the class statement, and the create statement is the function which helps you to manage the statement. Okay, so this is the syntax statement. Any reference is equal to the connection dot create statement is the function which helps you to create a statement. Then after creating the statement, so whatever query you wanted to execute, SQL query, you can use it with the function execute query. Within parenthesis, you have to pass the SQL command. Say, for example, select star from the table name, whatever may be the query, insert into the table name values, whatever may be the query. So whatever query you wanted to execute, you have to give execute query. And like whenever you wanted to do some updation commands, like insert and all, in that case you can use execute update. Within parenthesis you have to pass the command. And finally, after executing the query, the result set will be recorded. Okay. So for that we use, after, like when we call the execute query method, it will retrieve, as I told you, always the execute query method will be used for retrieving the data from the database. Whereas execute update is the method which is used for updating the data into the database. So this execute query helps you to retrieve the selected records and store it as a result set. So this is one sample code, we have created an application. So this page is like the HTML form. So we are using the form, we have retrieved the seat number and name of a student, and we have 5 MCQ questions. We are going to get the answers from the student. This is one sample application, online exam application. So whatever answer based on the student register number, name, and the answers provider, we are going to calculate the marks and update the result for the particular student. That is the scenario we have taken. So this is the HTML code you may be familiar with. In the body tag, I have created a form. Okay. And the method I have mentioned as post. We are going to get the seat number. We are going to get the name of the student. I have given 5 sample questions, MCQ questions, like is Java object-oriented programming language? The answer is like using a radio button. We have going to collect the answer from the user, like either yes or no type of questions we have asked. So you can replace this with any other MCQ pattern questions as well. So this code will help you to create the form. And after creating the form, this is the Java part where you are going to establish the connection with the JDBC and going to store it in the database. So there in the HTML form, we have mentioned the method as post. So here in the Java program, so we are going to write the concept inside the doPost method. So you all are familiar with, whenever you wanted to write some information on the browser, first you have to set the content type as HTML or text. Then you have to get the writer, print writer. Then this is like a request.get parameter is the function which is used to read the input from the HTML form, because we have created the questions MCQs in the HTML form. So whatever user clicks on the HTML form, and when the user clicks on the submit, that answer will be retrieved here and it is stored in the appropriate variable. So I have taken the seat number, name, and the 5 answers what the user clicks on the HTML form. And for each and every question, I have taken 2 marks for each and every question. So if I'm checking the condition, if the user is giving the correct answer, then the marks will be calculated. And if the total is more than 6 marks, then we give a message like the student has passed, and if it is less than 6 means it is failed. Okay. So this is the logic. Whatever may be based on the application, you can write the logic. And this is the database connectivity part. So as I told you, first step is you have to load and register the driver. So see here, class dot for name, I am creating a driver. I am registering a driver. After that, we have to establish the connection. You can see here, get connection is the method, and this root and this is the username, and this is the password, and this is the URL. So we are getting the connection. Then we are going to establish the prepared statement, creating the statement. So here in this scenario, I am going to insert the seat number, name, total marks, and the message whether the student is pass or fail. So 4 values I'm going to insert into the database. So I have given 4 question marks separated by commas. Insert into this exam is my table name. So here I have taken my table name as exam. So insert into table name values, and what are all the values I'm going to insert. First question mark is seat number, second one is name, third is the total marks secured, and fourth one is the message whether pass or fail. So I am setting the string. First one is seat number, second one name, third one total, fourth one message. So then I am, as I told you, whenever you wanted to update or do some manipulations, data manipulation type of queries, you have to give execute update. If it is select type of SQL query means you have to give execute query. In this case, it is inserting the values into the database. So I give execute update, and I give a print message that whenever each and every row is inserted into the database, you will get the message that the record is inserted. Okay. And after it is done, we are closing the connection. And this is like to print the our data is available in the database to the browser. So whenever you wanted to display in the browser, you have to give it as a HTML code. So I give the HTML, and inside the body tag, I'm displaying the information in a table format. So I have taken the table, and the row head I have taken it as seat number, name, mark, and result. And the table data, I'm going to display whatever data which is available in the database. So this is how you implement the JDBC connectivity. Through the HTML forms, we are going to get the input, and in the Java, we are going to calculate the response and display the response through the browser. Thank you.